Hey guys, thanks for joining us here at Salty Ginger Talk. If you're a returning listener, it's great to have you back. If you're new to the channel, really glad you joined us. Hope you like what you hear. So this is our final episode for 2025. It's been a great year for Salty Ginger Talk and the Salty Ginger Talk community. We've seen tremendous growth. We've had on awesome guests. We've had just outstanding people come on and share what they've learned from life and through their stories and through their wisdom and through their willingness to be candid about when things are tough. We don't do Instagram reels or the highlights at Salty Ginger Talk. We like things to be real. We like to talk about how real life works and what people have learned when life has kicked them in the teeth. And life has kicked all of us in the teeth at some point. And so we're at a point in the year where a lot of people like to make resolutions. What am I going to do different next year? And that's a very normal and natural thing to think about. We would encourage you to do that throughout the year and not wait for the end of a year or for some significant change, calendar change, date change event to come to inspect your life and figure out what you want to do different to build the life that you want. Because the challenge there is that event, whatever it is, let's say it's a new year, let's say it's a wedding, let's say it's a vacation, let's say it's anything, it doesn't matter. If you're working towards a thing, eventually that thing comes and goes. And then you've still got to live your life after that thing is no longer on the horizon. And what are you going to do when that happens if you don't have a system in place or a plan in place to live the life that you want after that event has taken place? So our goal here is to give you repeatable and verifiable ways to change the habits that you want, both to start new things that you would want to do. I want to exercise. I want to start eating better. Those types of habits. And the things you want to stop. I'd like to stop smoking. I'd like to stop doom scrolling, whatever the thing may be. But those are two different things, and it takes a different approach to effectively change those habits. And so that's what we're going to talk about in our episode today. We want to give you a playbook on how to change habits so that you can be successful in changing those habits, since this is a time of year when many people are thinking about changing their habits. We're simply capitalizing on the fact that a lot of people are thinking on that to try to share these tips with you so that you can be successful in changing your life. But we want to stress again, this doesn't really have anything to do with resolutions. It's great. It will work to help you accomplish your resolutions, but you should be inspecting your life on a regular basis and changing the things in your life that you want to change. So with that said, let's jump into it. We're going to give you scientific evidence. We're going to give you steps. We're going to give you action items that you can take to build the systems that will help you change the habits you want to change, to live the life that you want to live. So let's just get into it. Now, most attempts to change will fail not because people lack motivation, but because they misunderstand how behavior change actually works. Motivation is emotional. Your emotions will change, which means your motivations will change. Habits are neurological. You can wire your brain to subconsciously initiate the habit loop without you having to think about it. And that's what we're trying to get to. If you design the systems correctly, the discipline becomes, automatic. And that's what we're trying to get to. We don't want to think about it. We just want it to be who we are and what we do. That takes time. It takes effort. And that's what we're going to walk through in the episode today. So, research shows 80% of New Year's resolutions fail by February. The reason is people rely on motivation, and motivation spikes for a little bit and then it fades. That's normal. It happens to literally everybody. You're not unique when that happens to you. It's not a defect in you. It's a defect in human beings. The reason it's a defect in human beings is because of the way our brains work. And we talk about this a lot on this channel. Our brains are still running software that was installed basically 100,000 years ago. And your brain is always going to default back to energy efficient behaviors because it's trying to keep you alive. It's operating like you still live in a cave on the Serengeti instead of in an apartment in a city. Wherever you live, doesn't matter. But you get the difference. There's not imminent threats to your life the way that there used to be, but your brain is still operating like there are. Your brain is wired to conserve energy. It's wired to seek immediate reward, and it's wired to avoid discomfort. And that's one of the worst things we can do as people is avoid discomfort. We want to selectively make ourselves uncomfortable, selectively put ourselves in uncomfortable situations so that we grow as people. And without structure, willpower is going to lose every single time. So if we want to change habits, it's important to understand how our brain works, and especially as it relates to habits. So how do habits actually work in our brain? Every habit, good or bad, follows the same neurological loop. Number one is a cue. There's some trigger that cues that habit in your mind. Number two is a craving. That cue creates a craving or a desire for a reward. Number three is a response. The response is the behavior that you undertake to get the reward for the craving that you're experiencing. And then you get the reward, and that triggers a dopamine release in your brain, which reinforces the loop and slowly but surely creates a habit that becomes unconscious and either difficult to start doing. I'm not going to exercise because it's easy to sit here and watch TV, or to stop doing. I'm going to keep smoking because I like the feeling I get when I smoke, and I know it's bad for me, but I don't care. I'm going to do it anyways. So you don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. We always use the NFL as an example. Every NFL team starts out the season expecting to win the Super Bowl. The goal is to win the Super Bowl. Like, what's the point of playing the games if you don't? So does the team that actually wins a Super Bowl just set the goal that much better than the teams that don't win the Super Bowl? Absolutely not. What they do is put systems in place to allow them to progress through the season to accomplish the goal they're trying to accomplish. So it's the systems that carry the team to the Super Bowl, not the goal of winning the Super Bowl itself. Now, this aligns with James Clear's book, Atomic Habits. And we talk a lot on this channel about the Atomic Habits book by James Clear. Great book, very scientific-based, fact-based, action-based. There are steps in that book. If you want to learn how to change habits, read Atomic Habits. If you want to understand how habits work, read Atomic Habits. It will work. We're giving you a Cliff's Notes versions of it in this episode, but if you really want to understand how habits work, read that book. But in that book, neuroscience backs up what I'm saying across behavioral psychology. So there is tons and tons of scientific evidence in that book that will back up and validate what we're talking about here. So how do we start habits that we want to stick? Things like exercising, things like eating healthier, things like reading more, things like meditating. The first rule here is to start so small you cannot fucking fail. You can't fuck it up. You got to start small. If you're going to make a huge change, it's going to fail almost always. Is there that unicorn out there who can make that huge change and be successful the first time? Sure, but it rarely happens. Dopamine, which is the neurotransmitter that triggers satisfaction, right? So it's happiness. We get that dopamine rush from the little things in life. It reinforces completion, not difficulty. So dopamine doesn't get released because you're trying something hard. Dopamine gets released because you did what you said you would do. So if you say you're going to do something small and do it, you'll get a dopamine hit. It'll reinforce that behavior. Small wins build identity and momentum. So instead of saying, I'm going to work out 6 days a week, start with, I'm going to put my gym shoes on every morning. Okay? So see the difference? One is, I'm going to start Olympic level training 6 days a week. Nope. I'm going to put my gym shoes on today. Tomorrow, I'm going to go to the gym. I might not even work out, but I'm going to go. Small, repeatable, continuous improvement is how you're going to get to where you want to be. So what you're going to do today is pick a habit, and then you're going to build a step that's so small, it almost feels pointless. Like, what the fuck am I doing here? Who am I kidding? Like, putting my gym shoes on? Really? Yeah, really. Because it's step 1. Step 2 is go to the gym. Step 3 is go into the gym. Step 4 is walk on a treadmill for 2 minutes. Then the next day, walk on a treadmill for 4 minutes. Keep taking steps forward. The success is the showing up and accomplishing what you said you were going to accomplish. Not the intensity, not this massive jump, not this massive amount of progress that you made. It's doing what you said you were going to do. You're building and reinforcing the behaviors that turn you into the person you want to become. Okay, now another way, another advantage, another trick to changing habits is to stack habits together. So attach a new habit or something you're trying to make a new habit to something you already do. For example, if you want to get more physically fit, after you have a cup of coffee, say, I'm going to start doing 5 push-ups. After I have every cup of coffee, 5 push-ups. Start there, stack the habit. After I brush my teeth, I'm going to do 2 minutes of stretching. There you go. You've incorporated something new. It's something to build on. It's something you can grow from. Habit stacking leverages existing neural pathways, reducing cognitive load. So you're essentially hitchhiking on an already existing neural pathway to add another habit to a habit that already happens daily. So the action step here is just to write the sentence down. After I blank, I will blank. After I brush my teeth, I will do 5 push-ups. After I drink a cup of coffee, I will do 2 minutes of stretching. That's it. Stack the habits. Hitchhike on the neural pathways that already exist and allow those new habits to just free ride. That's a good way to get them going. And rule number 3 here is to change your identity first. Change how you think about yourself in these situations. Change how you talk about yourself in these situations. People don't fail habits, they fail identities. You feel like an imposter. You don't buy your own story, so you won't do the things you said you were going to do. Instead of saying, I want to start running, say, I'm someone who doesn't miss runs. I want to start working out. I'm someone who goes to the gym. Start telling yourself that, and the behavior will follow to reinforce the statements you're making to yourself. Behavior change sticks when it aligns with the self-concept of yourself, not the goals you've set for yourself. So the action step here is to finish this sentence daily. I'm the type of person who blank. What is the thing that you want to accomplish? Say it out loud and then go engage in the behavior to validate your self-identity. Okay? Now, let's pivot a little bit and talk about things that we already do that are habits we want to stop. Things like smoking, doom scrolling, overeating, or excessive drinking. Stopping habits requires a different strategy than starting them, right? We already have this habit loop ingrained. We already have this neural pathway in our minds. And how do we interrupt that, stop it, change it, so we can get rid of the habits that we don't want in our lives? Okay. Rule number 1 here is try to remove the cue. Willpower is not reliable. You can't just white knuckle it or you're going to fail. Environment is very reliable, and we want to set up our environment to remove the cues that start the habit loop that we talked about. Studies show that environment design beats self-control every single time in every single instance. So, how do we do it? If we want to stop doom scrolling, let's delete the apps. Not just the notifications. Get them off our phone. If it's not on our phone, we can't go on our phone and scroll. Very straightforward. If we want to change how we're eating, let's get rid of all the junk food in our house. We can't go raid the kitchen at 10 o'clock at night if there's nothing to raid. If you want an apple, great, there's an apple, but there's no Reese's peanut butter cups anymore. There's no Lay's potato chips anymore. There's no Ben & Jerry's ice cream anymore. There's apples and grapes and bananas. That's your new snack at night. Charge your phone outside your bedroom so the notifications don't pop up, so you're not tempted to pick up your phone and scroll at 2 a.m, right? Set up your environment for success, not failure. So your action step on this one is to identify one bad habit cue. What is the cue? What is the trigger that starts this habit loop for you? And remove it, or at worst, increase the friction immediately. Make it harder to start the loop when the trigger hits, or make it harder for the trigger to get to you. Delete the apps from your phone. Put your phone out in the other room. Get rid of the junk food. We're making it harder. Now I got to get in my car and drive to the store to buy junk food. That's a lot of friction to overcome to help you break that habit. Okay? Number 2, we're got to learn to replace these habits with something else, not erase them, right? We've all heard the saying, nature abhors a vacuum. Your brain hates behavioral vacuums in exactly the same way. A bad approach is, I'm just going to stop scrolling. A better approach is, when I want to scroll, I'm going to read one page or walk around the block, whatever. the substitute behavior is. It's a useful and healthy substitute behavior in place of the behavior that you're trying to stop. So we're not just trying to stop it and fight the craving. We're replacing it with a healthy, productive behavior. Cravings don't disappear immediately. They've got to be redirected. One of the best way to redirect them is to replace the action with a healthy and productive action. So the action step here is to write down, when I feel the urge to blank, whatever blank is, smoke, eat, scroll, whatever it is, doesn't matter. I will do 10 push-ups, write in my journal, walk around the block, whatever. We've replaced an unproductive, unhealthy habit with a productive and healthy habit. That's what we're going to do. All right. Rule number 3 here is delay the reward. If you feel the craving, if you feel it coming on, the craving is going to spike and then it's going to go away. So this is like we talk about Castaway, right? He was stuck on the island because he couldn't get over the reef. The craving is the reef that you've got to get over to get out in the open ocean and get rescued by the Russian fishing boat. Cravings are going to spike and then they're going to go away, usually within 10 to 15 minutes. So we've got to have a strategy to get through that 10 to 15 minutes. And urge surfing reduces compulsive behavior by letting cravings pass without acting. So write it out. Write it out. Delay the behavior. Say, if I get this craving, I'm going to wait at least 10 minutes before I indulge that craving. Then set a timer. What you're going to find is most of the time that craving will have either subsided or gone away completely in that 10 minutes. Because just like anything else, nothing in life is permanent. The craving isn't permanent either. You just got to get over the reef. So use that delayed gratification, give it 10 to 15 minutes, set a timer, and then engage in a different activity and see if it even matters 10 to 15 minutes down the road. What you're going to find is you've surfed that craving into the shore and you can walk off and you're good to go. Number 5, this one's important. You've got to make failure impossible to ignore. You're going to track the habit, not the outcome. When I coached baseball, I used to tell coaches, coach the approach, not the result. If we want people to be good hitters, teach them what good hitters do. Don't focus on getting hits. Focus on what good hitters do with their head, with their hands, with their hips, with their feet, with the mental approach they take at the plate. Teach all of those things, but don't focus on the outcome. The outcome will follow the approach if we focus on the approach. So, weight fluctuates, moods fluctuate, behavior doesn't lie. If you are tracking your goals, if you are tracking your habits, your progress, you are going to see a better adherence to your processes by up to 40%. By simply keeping track of what you're doing, you're going to engage in the productive behaviors more often, which is going to lead you to better outcomes faster and more often. So the way to do this is just use a simple checklist. Did I show up? Yes or no? Did I do what I said I was going to do? Yes or no? I said I was going to walk for 2 minutes. Did I walk for 2 minutes today? Yes. Check. That's a win. Tomorrow I'm going to walk for 3 minutes. Did I walk for 3 minutes? Yes. Check. That's a win, but we're going to track it. We're going to keep track of it. Okay. So bringing all this together, we've got a 7-day habit reset for you to practice. Again, we're doing the episode because this is a time of year that a lot of people like to make resolutions and think about things they want to change in their lives. And that's great. We're capitalizing on the fact that people are using this time and it's front of mind to talk about this topic. But you can do this any time of year and you should do it multiple times a year. But our 7-day habit reset starting now is going to be pick one habit to start, pick one habit to stop. And then we're going to design the systems that we talked about. What is the cue for the habit to start or stop? What is the tiny action that we're going to take to enable that cue and give ourselves the dopamine rush that we're looking for? What changes are we going to make to our environment to either enable the habit we want to start or to stop the habit that we want to stop? And then what is our replacement behavior for the habits that we're trying to get rid of? We can't just stop doing one thing. We're going to replace it with a different and productive thing. Okay. So that's the loop. That is the plan. It will work way more often than it won't. You might start and fail. You might try and fail. That's okay. Get up and try again. You only truly fail when you quit or give up. We've got to get that into our heads that losing or failure is about quitting. It's not about whether we accomplished what we wanted to accomplish or not. Until we accomplish it, we're going to get back up and run at the wall again. You don't need more motivation. What you need are fewer decisions. You need to automate these things in your life so they just become what you do. Now, that might sound restrictive and punitive. It's not. It's actually freedom. Freedom is not doing whatever you want. Too many people make the mistake of thinking that. Freedom is building habits that serve the life you say you want. If you want to be wealthy, take actions that will make you wealthy. If you want to be fit, take actions that will make you fit. If you want to be in a good relationship, take actions to foster good relationships with people, right? We're going to become what we say we want to become. That's the goal. We just laid out a framework for you to do that. Follow it. You'll be successful. Okay, James puts it up over here every day. Head over to our website, saltygingertalk.com. All of our podcast episodes are available there. Links to our social media accounts are available there. We publish a newsletter every weekday you can subscribe to on our website. We have awesome guests that that come on and share their lives and give us information on what they've learned, especially in the hard times. There's so much value in that, learning from other people's tough times and the wisdom they've developed from those. We do episodes like this that help you change your life, that help you take the steps you want to take to build the life that you want. And starting in 2026, we're going to start doing a once a week live stream where we bring on a guest or another person. We talk about a topic. We'll take questions from the audience that's live streaming. Really excited about that. That's going to start the third week of January. So make sure you put that in your calendar. We're going to do it Thursday nights at 6 p.m. And I'm really looking forward, 6 p.m. Eastern, and we're really looking forward to that. So we won't see you again until the new year. So everybody have a safe and happy new year. Make sure you like, share, comment, subscribe to our podcast if you're watching it now. And we look forward to a healthy and productive 2026 for all of us. We'll see you there.